Welcome back to you all. I'm so glad to be talking to you. I shouldn't be saying welcome back to you. You've been here. God bless you. Back from a little time off. Thank you so much for being part of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Right here from the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio. Baldwin Ace Hardware, a beacon of DIY awesomeness in the Northland. Took a little time away. That has now ended. The day back when you're kind of trying to merge into traffic of the day, of getting back to, what is the norm? One of the oddest things, getting more odd to do that. It's odd going from the daily routine and then into the not daily routine. When you go from working all the time, whatever it is you may do, and then suddenly you have time off. Suddenly, you don't have anywhere to be. You don't have anything to get done. It's one of the greatest things in the world. Now, I don't know about you, but when it comes to actually, like what the Queen of the Forest and I did, going to a faraway place and literally nothing to do other than see people and, stuff you do when you're not working is ridiculous. And we leaned into that so much so that when we're driving around in the traffic, and I'll get to more of what the traffic in California, Jesus. I think I was probably the only person on the road who didn't have any stress. So I was taking it all in the Southern California traffic. And it's a new place, so I'm kind of like, it's just kind of cool to be part of it. I didn't have any pressure or anything like that. So that was unique. And then conversely, getting back into it when we arrived back here in snowy West Michigan, cold West Michigan. And then we got in very, very late Monday night / Tuesday morning. We got into the car in the parking lot at the airport at 11:52. A day of travel that began at 1:35 p.m. Pacific time on Monday. Fly to Minneapolis, short layover, off we go. Picking up those hours in the time zones, which just is, my God. It shouldn't be that you start travel at 1:35 and then it's midnight when you actually are done traveling. Holy shit. When we're flying out there, it's interesting because, it's, from Michigan to Phoenix was 4 hours. And then you get 2 of those hours back. And then Dinah sends a text to the group text. Yeah, we're here. And Dinah says, it only took us 2 hours to get to Phoenix. And I'm like, and Jackie realized what the fuck she was doing, and I realized it right away. And I go, no, it didn't. It took precisely double that. It was a 4-hour plane ride. I watched an entire series on Netflix about the mob. What? It says, I go, yeah, you're not taking into account the time zones. We gained 2 hours. You know how that works? Have you heard of time zones before? So silly. Oh, yeah. Okay. We land to start the trip, and I've got a lot of stories sprinkled in. I actually take notes of the shit, of things that went on. We're tired because when we land, it's probably, I don't know, close to 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock California time, which is roughly 1:30. 2 a.m. Michigan time. And that is way past my bedtime. I may, if I'm up past 8:30, 9 o'clock Michigan time, that's a problem. So we're punchy. We are punchy. Now, I want you to know that the entire time I was there was only one time when I was mildly agitated, and this moment was not it. When we're getting the rental car. It wasn't until later on in that, after we got dropped off at our place that we're staying, that I started to panic about something. But other than that, no panic whatsoever. And no panic here either. Others, there was plenty of panic. We're in line at the place to get the rental car. Now, all this shit is taken care of. All we got to do is show your ID. Here's your keys. Get the fuck out. And there's a lot of people in line. All right. And at the rental car place. And I noticed that with like 20 people in line, there's one person working at the counter. One. And the guy at the counter is pissed off. The customer is pissed off. And he can't believe it. He's incredulous. He's blown away and disgusted. Busted and disgusted. Next person comes up. Same thing. Disgusted. Furious. I can't figure out what's going on. Everyone's disgusted because it's taking so long. But again, I'm just like, oh boy, whatever. Looking at my phone, picking my ass, don't care. Whatever. I'm going to get to my hotel. I'm going to go to bed. And that's the end of it. If these people want to get pissed off, that's entirely up to them. A couple more workers show up, and they're like, oh, hey, come on, next in line. And we go, oh, good. Now everything's fixed. They came back from break. I see another guy on the other counter, and he's getting pissed off. Another customer. So everybody's getting pissed. Huh. Worker waves me over. It's my turn. I'm standing in line, or I was being waited on by another employee, and the guy to my left is the dude who's the most pissed off. I mean, he is bitching. Now, I've never I couldn't tell you all the Seinfeld episodes, but every person I told the story to said, this is a Seinfeld episode. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of Seinfeld, but I couldn't quote you shows. But a lot of people could because of the popularity of that show over the years. Every person I talked to said, this is a Seinfeld episode, what you're telling us. So I'll have to take your word for it. Because the lady there, she goes, we don't have any cars. It's 2-hour wait till you can get a car. Oh, wait a minute, you don't have any cars. This is a rental car place. I actually didn't say it like that. I remained annoyingly cool. Diana and I didn't speak, but I'm thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't have rental cars. She goes, we're behind. We have none prepared. It's going to be 2 hours. You can sit over there and wait. So I did not react. I just sat there. And right away, I started to embrace the idea that this was happening. So then I'm like, okay, no problem, man. I'll call an Uber. Our place is 8 miles away. No big deal. She goes, that's a good idea. Go back, get some sleep, come back tomorrow, hopefully before 10 a.m. I'm like, oh my God, what? And she says, just come get the car. That's it. That's all you got to do. I go, no problem, ma'am. That's what we're going to do. And then she had her like guard up during all of that. She had the ready to kick the fuck out of me if I started to get lippy like the guy next to me. The guy next to me is giving shit to this dude who looks more like a yes, sir, beta male type of guy. That was not her, and I could sense it. This woman was not to be fucked with. She was going to kick my ass if I decided to get, a little loose in the turns with her. And I just wasn't up for it. I'm tired. I go, She goes, no. She goes, there's no. She's expecting me to flip out. But where I think I made her moist was when I said, hey, what can you do, ma'am? It's no big deal. No big deal at all. And she was putty. She was putty in my hands. So that's about that. I then walked out. Called the Uber. Cost me $13 to get to the place. It's late. Very, very late. Guy drops us off. Now, what's going on here is the community of Venice. I don't know anything about the community of Venice. All I know is that my pal Jeffrey, the dude who I gave the kidney to, lives 2 miles from where we're staying. It's absolutely perfect. Now, he's described Venice Beach, Venice, as gritty. Now, to me, gritty is like Detroit, okay? So I go, whatever, I can do gritty. I don't care. As long as, this is what we did. We took a look at the pictures of the place we're staying, the inside of it. I go, that's good enough. It's a little bit, it is gritty, but it's weird because it's sporadic grit. And the grit is the amount of homeless people. I look out the window of the place and I'm drinking a cup of coffee and I am looking at a homeless encampment. And that is what California is these days in a lot of places that have been stamped with grit approval. If you have an area that is grit intensive, you can apparently get a grit permit and set up your homeless encampment. So that's what happens. And so there, on Venice Boulevard, it's one way and then a median, and then the rest of the lanes go in the other way. It's like a boulevard. And it is a boulevard. The median there is where the encampment is. The length of the road. All the way to like the beach. While I'm driving around, this is a big deal to the people in Los Angeles County because communities have been overrun with homelessness. And they have a new mayor there named Karen Bass, who's been in office for about 70 days. And her and the county council, I guess, are working together trying to solve this problem. Well, one of the things that's in place is there's been a law on the books near the beaches and any park that there cannot be a homeless encampment within like 500 yards or 1,000 yards or something like that. But you had a very sympathetic council person who was upholding the enforcement of that law. Law has existed. You can't do that. But they're like this bleeding heart type of person was like, oh, no, these people must be able to do whatever they want. And so there's a clip that's going around on Los Angeles radio when I was there, and his radio station that I kind of fell in love with. It's a news station, 97.1. And there's some guy who's like, it's remarkable that one of the reasons why people visit a place like the beaches and our parks, one of the main things people are drawn to are now considered places you do not want to take your family to. And I couldn't agree more. You know, that's real shit. I mean, I understand. I'm not saying that I have the answer, but at the very least, can we make it so that you can go down to the fucking beach, get yourself an airbrush t-shirt, maybe a temporary tattoo, a corn dog, and go hang out on the beach. I don't know, whatever. Because the way it is in Venice is you've got like Muscle Beach where these fucking people are like pumping iron on the beach, all these narcissistic assholes. And then you got these giant paddleball courts. It's great. People having a great time, and then there's shops. You walk along, and then there's a guy taking a shit on a beagle or something like that. And it's like, fuck, this is just wrong. So anyway, this mayor, this Karen Bass, it so happens that while we were there, and she ran on a platform where she said, in 1 year, I will have homes for all of the homeless. Now, in particular, in the area of downtown Los Angeles, there is a 1 square mile area that is actually known as Skid Row. And if you were to look it up, Skid Row images, it's what you would picture something that's named as Skid Row. What I saw looking outside of my window in Venice is, a blip compared to Skid Row, where the area's homeless live. There's almost 5,000 homeless people, tents, sleeping on the ground, many of them addicted to drugs, drug-induced psychosis, schizophrenia, horrible, life expectancy in the encampment is like 35 years old. It's rough. It's the roughest. It's the largest homeless population in the United States. So while I'm driving around, getting nowhere fast in the traffic, I'm listening to what's developing. And it's just fucking incredible to me because I like to consider myself someone who's like, well, maybe in my own brain I can solve a problem. And what would you do, Eric, if you were in this situation, if you were running the city? And I don't have an answer. But this mayor has decided to, she has a program she ran on this. She says, in 1 year, everybody's going to have housing. And I'm calling it Inside Safe. We are going to do this, and people are going to have a place to live. So people are like, all right. Now the community has been paying for 4 years through their state income taxes to fund this. 4 years, and there's a lot of people there that make a lot of money. So there's a pile of money that they've been sitting on. And not a dime has been spent to, put something in motion. What are you going to do? You got all this fucking cash. God help you if it's missing. But so they have the money. The taxpayers pay for it, but nothing's been done. Well, no, something has been done because according to the news stories, they started on Skid Row. It was described as, and I haven't even taken a look at it. I didn't drive through this area, but on one side of one street, on the early morning hours of whatever day that we were there, a garbage truck pulls up, and then they go walking up to a tent. They go, hey, boom, 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 boom. Get the fuck out. The guy stumbles out, and they grab his tent and throw it in the trash. And then they go, yeah, fuck you. And then they go to the next one. And then where that tent was, there's a guy with a pressure washer. I'm not kidding you. Spraying the disease and the shit off the cement. He goes, fuck you, get out of here. And they rip these people have belongings that they've had given to them, or maybe garbage picked or something like that. And then there's one chick who's who's in charge of the entire Skid Row. And she's been a fixture in the community for like 30 years. She's lived there for that long. And she's like Mama Humongous or something like that from Road Warrior. And she's like, I don't have anything now. I had a heater here. I had a place to sleep. And they're like, well, don't you want to go inside? And she goes, that won't work. It'll never work. They've tried it before. No, they're like, wow, it's like a tightly knit community of homeless people. So this had nothing to do with what the mayor ran on. So people are like, wait a minute, huh? What are you doing? I thought these people were going to, now they, okay, it's bad enough that they were homeless but at least they had a place to lie down. And now they just threw all their shit away. So I'm guessing that the next step is that this mayor is going to pull up buses and say, yeah, you're going to your new home, and then drive them to Bakersfield or some shit and say, get the fuck out of here. Fuck. This is turning out to be a mess. Homelessness everywhere. My God. But I totally digressed because after we got into the Uber and they dropped us off at our place in Venice, what people do there, property owners, is they buy what was one house. And then they work with contractors, got the entire thing, and retrofit the home to be 4 or 5 separate places to stay. They call them bungalows. And so you walk into a door where when this home was built, it didn't have a door in this spot, but now they have doors all the way around the damn thing. So what was one house is now 5 rooms for people to stay. And it's sweet, man. It's old as hell, but it's painted in these nice, bright retro colors. And it looked to be a great place. And it was. It was. I'm not complaining about any of that. In fact, I'm not complaining about any of this. I loved where we were staying. I loved the culture. I loved being close to the grit because that's kind of how I roll. And I'm good with anything. And, yeah, it was fine. But we get to the place, and it's 2 structures. One is 2-story, one is 1-story. On the confirmation email, it says you will be in the 1-story structure. To get into the gate, because there's a gate all the way around it. And it's electronic lock. Hit the code. Go in. Now we're into this area. So the 2 properties are surrounded by a gate. And Uber guy drops us off. Pitch black. I go, okay, I think it's the one, because it says of the 2 buildings, one's 2-story, one's 1-story. You're in the 1-story building. I go, okay, great. I'm trying to be quiet because in case people sleeping, and I'm sure there were other residents, people staying on their trip. And I got my suitcase rolling along, and Dinah's got hers. And on the side of the building, it says 1A, 1B, 1C, and there's an arrow. So we have to go in between the house and the fence along this perimeter of this house. And we're in 1B. We pass 1A. We're walking along the side of the house, and there's a door facing us that says 1C. 1A to 1C. And all I see is one door facing me. So it's like the length of the house, and then facing me, though, is 1C. So past 1A, made a left-hand turn, length of the house, 1C at the end is a door with 1C right there. Go, well, where the fuck's 1B? And this is 1B will be in the middle. Yes, 1B should be between 1A and 1C. There is no 1B. Go back, retrace our steps. What the fuck is it? Now, each of the bungalow doors has another code. It's the last 4 digits of your phone number or some shit. So we're looking around. And then very quick, because I'm tired. I don't think straight when I'm tired, nor does Diana. And right away, I start thinking, we've been scammed. This is an absolute scam. It's a catfish scam. We're probably being laughed at by a bunch of fucking idiots who are watching on closed circuit in their tent down the street. And I'm like, what the fuck? We cannot. I go, all right, start over. Read the email again, the whole email. It's the same thing I just told you. And I go, I cannot find this. So then I started walking along the length of the house to 1C. And I passed by a window where the blinds are open and the lights are on. Okay? And I go, oh, fuck. And I like duck down because I'm thinking someone's in there. They're going to see me and call the fucking cops. It's another resident of this fucking place we're staying. I go, holy shit. I fucking duck down. I get the fuck out of there. I go, holy shit. I go, Dad, there's someone in that room. If they see us, we're fucking dead. We're going to be answering questions by the cops. It's going to be ridiculous. So then I even wander over to the 2-story building, and now it's like, 2A, 2C, too big. No, it doesn't. I go, well, maybe it's a misprint. So I go to the keypad of each of these doors, and I hit the code, the last 4 digits of our phone number. Nothing. So people inside are hearing beep, 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 beep. I'm like, oh, fuck. Nobody opened the door, though. No one, I don't know. If someone may not have been in that room. They may have. I don't know. But I'm worried. Time's passed. 10, 15 minutes walking around. I go back to where I saw the lights in that window. And I'm kind of like, I don't want to be directly in front of it in case whoever is in there sees me. And Diana inches her way down to where I am. She hasn't been down to this area yet. Okay, she's only taken my word for it. And she goes, you asshole. I go, what? It's right there. It says 1B right there. Right next to the window where you thought someone was in there. That's our room, you dick. I go, oh. Okay. When I looked down and I saw 1C facing me, flush is 1B. I can't see it. It never occurred to me. I don't know how I missed this. I'm trying to give you an excuse, but I don't fucking have one. I don't know how I missed this. Holy fuck. Extended time wondering where the fuck I was. I cannot believe I'm on. Oh my God, this is so bad. Oh. What a terrible feeling that was. Instant relief. 8683. Door opens up. We go in. It was the room that I thought there was someone in looking at me. That was my room. Oh, what a bad feeling that was. Jesus. All right. At that time, I didn't know I was close to the homeless encampment. But we absolutely got lost walking around that place again and again and again. Holy crap. Jesus, as soon as that happened, Chris says, were you still hauling the luggage around? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Amanda says, is it an Airbnb? No, it wasn't an Airbnb. It's actually owned by a, I guess they rent bungalow. It's called Bungalows 444 or something like that. Whew. That was something. My God. So glad to have you all in here enjoying the podcast. I've missed you. I really have. When I'm away, I get anxious. You know? Like, what's going on? Are you giving them something to listen to? Something else to listen to? Oh, I hope not. Hope you enjoyed the Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. And for folks on Patreon, I gave you special material while I'm away. Shh. All right. Let's see. I've got some more highlights. I jumped in the car. After I got the rental car, I went out to get like a coffee or something like that. I hadn't yet realized how sketch it was in Venice. And then I talked about this in a Facebook Live video yesterday. There was a man, looked to be about 6'1", 6'2". He had on it was a sweatshirt or what. It was a little chilly for most of the time we were there, especially in the morning, like talking like 40 degrees. And this guy's walking, and he had like a sweatshirt on, and he's walking very aggressively and almost swinging his arms like someone who's exaggerating that they're gay. A man. I'm really going to walk like he's walking like a runway model, perhaps. Enormous hair, afro, little bit gnarly looking, and colored underwear, but not covering his penis or his ass. Like sometimes they get twisted almost so they're like a rope around your knees, or in this case, just above the knees. He's able to take large strides despite the fact that the underwear is down, almost like corralling his legs, which would trip a normal man. But nothing covering his ass and huge, swinging violently penis. Very large. A big, big dick.
Let's got the big black dick because I know you want to.
This guy was huge. And I'm like, okay. Now that gave me the first gigantic clue. Because, actually I did see some homelessness. But I was like, well, that's Southern California for you. I know the homelessness is an issue. But then I was like, well, all right. Okay, this is the way it's going to be. We're going to be so fucked up. We're going to just be showing everybody our cock. Jeffrey, my pal Jeffrey, he's making me food recommendations. Now, when it comes to like some things were similar, some things were not. He made me some food recommendations. And he said, oh, man, you got to go eat at the Rose. It's fantastic. It's just the nicest place. You're going to love the Rose. Great place for breakfast, man. I go, all right. So what do you have over there? Walk in. And there's someone in front of us. She goes, how many? It's a hostess. And there's all sorts of like art on the wall and he goes, 2. And she says, did you have a reservation? No, it's fucking 9:30 and there's no one there. And she says, well, you'll have to give me your number. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So that was weird. And then I looked at the prices, and it was ridiculous. That breakfast would have cost us, I am not kidding you, $75. So I'm like, oh, okay, let's get the fuck out of here. And then we went to McDonald's. I go, now this is what I'm talking about. This is where I align with grit. And where I was between Venice and this area called, I think it's Marina del Rey. And so it's closer to Venice, though. So we're still in kind of, it got a high level of grit. And I know that because while we're eating, there was 2 homeless guys in there. And then Diana leans in to say something. I go, don't do it. I go, don't lean in because whoever you're going to talk about knows you're going to be talking about them. And if they look, they might see you. So just say what you need to say. She goes, that man's ass is, I am eating this burrito and fully looking at that man's ass. This is the second ass I've seen. I turn and the homeless dude who's seated at the bench, motherfucker, his pants were just about off. You could see so much crack. It's like, you got to work to get your pants that far off. It was incredible. I go, yes. This is fucking great. Now I know you're like, Jesus, Eric, you're telling us all the bad shit. Well, of course. The bad shit is more entertaining than the good shit. I mean, I can't really get into depth and talk about how much fun I had with my cousin. Well, no, I can. There was something that's funny worth talking about, but I'm not done yet because I think there was more ass that we saw. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. No, I told you about the black guy. I told you about the guy at the McDonald's. But at one point, I went to Walgreens. And I go walking up. And there's a guy with one shoe on, one shoe off, right at the entrance, sitting there. And he looked wasted. I go walk in there. And then one lady that works there is waiting on me, and the other one is right behind me, and they're having a conversation. They said, I know, I told him to leave. Is that the guy who, yeah, that's the guy. Apparently they were talking about how at one point this guy came in and broke a bottle on the floor, and he wouldn't leave, and he was scaring them. It's that guy. And they had already asked him to leave once. So I'm standing there, and this is what she says. She goes, yeah, I know. I'm worried too. And so I'm bringing up my whatever. And she goes, and it's just us two girls here alone. No guys to help us. She actually said that. I go, well, if that isn't a cue, I don't know what the fuck is. So at that point, he walks in. The guy walks in. And so I was like, well, she's asking me, so that means I guess it's my turn to get involved. Of course. I go, you want me to get him out of here? And she goes, no. And I'm thinking to myself, well, yes, you do. You just said it's just us girls and no guy to help us. What the you want me to grab that motherfucker and throw him out? Now, I don't want to do that, but I will. I go, you want me to get him out of here? And she says, no. I go, well, okay, then don't hesitate to call the police. She goes, we won't, sir. Thank you. I go, okay. And then I left. I got the fuck out of there. Shortly after, Diana and I come back. The chicks are still there. We had something else to get. Chicks are still there. Everything's fine. As we're walking in, that guy comes walking out. But he, I swear to God, is walking backwards. He's walking out of the store backwards. I'm like, is this the fuck? Is this Inception? What's that other movie? Tenet? It's Tenet. Another Christopher Nolan thing. Tenet. He's looking back over his shoulder and walking backwards. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I go, Dinah, we are having, it's like dinner and a show. The whole day is dotted with these amazing entertaining things. We need to move here. Show business, the heart of show business is Los Angeles, California. Southern California. This is why Rogan did his podcast there. I'm sitting here now 41 minutes into the show, and I'm just telling you about the first day. We need to take the show to Southern California. He's walking backwards. Diana and I watch him go right in front of our car. And I remember he was like, he looked like he was jacked to some degree, like he was muscular. This guy might be a former NFL player. He might even play for the Rams. You don't know. And then he walks backwards all the way around the corner. And then we see him again. He's still walking backwards. He stops, picks up a pizza box. I'm watching him. Walks. It's an empty pizza box. Walks about 5 steps backwards with the pizza box, sets it down. There's an empty cup with a straw in it. He picks it up, sets it next to the pizza box like it's someone's order, you know? And then just continues on down the road. Backwards. My God. Amazing. Whew. You may have seen we did the walk up to the Hollywood sign. That was great. Saw a coyote. I guess they're everywhere. You know, some guy tried to pull an Eric Zane and walk up to the coyote. I'm like, oh boy. Everybody get your video, get your cameras ready. We're about to see a guy get his nuts bit off. That hike was no joke. It was ridiculously steep at points. And then about nearly 1/2 of the way to the Hollywood sign, I felt it and realized that I was in great jeopardy of having to shit outside onto a cactus. And I don't feel good. I go, this is going to be a close one. So right away, I'm planning my escape. I'm like, okay, now I had a hoodie with me because at the bottom of the hill, it was chilly. And then after walking, I take the hoodie off. I'll go into the woods. I'll take off my T-shirt. I'll wipe my ass with my T-shirt and put the hoodie on. And she's just laughing at me. I go, okay, I think that's my plan B. Plan A is get down to the bottom of the hill here and get to a bathroom. Get up the hill. Take the nice pictures. Don't feel good. Start going down the hill. The whole walk is 2 hours. We're about an hour and 10 minutes in, 50 minutes down. 5-0. And I made it. I did make it. But, man, I was freaking out. Saw the coyote, got to the car at the trailhead, potties. Awesome. Off we go. Diana says, oh, I got something we got to see now because we had a little time to kill. She goes, we got to go to Hollywood Boulevard and we got to see all the stars in the Walk of Fame. All the big names are there. In fact, Ice-T, they just put Ice-T on the Walk of Fame. He might even be there. Maybe we can see Ice-T. I go, okay. I go, I've heard bad things about Hollywood Boulevard, though. I heard it's what do you mean? And that's where all the stars hang out. I go, I don't think they do. I go, I think it's a fucking shithole. What are you talking about? It's the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I go, well, I know what it is, but I think even the tourists, those are usually terrible people, they don't even go to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. We get there. And there's 1 million open parking spots. Now, like I said, I can do grit, but this place is a shithole. That was right. And there's no tourists. Everything is greasy and disgusting on Hollywood Boulevard. It's absolute shit. We're walking along. It smells like piss. Some guy whacked out of his mind, I'm not kidding you, is in a fight with a tree. He's kicking a tree. Not hard, but he's like practicing light strikes jiu-jitsu on a tree. And then he sees us coming. He stops, and there's a fire spigot coming out of the side of a building, cast iron. He starts kicking that. Okay, this goes on for about 150 yards. I said, I am not comfortable here, and I do not want to be here. There is nothing to see here. There is nothing we should buy from here. Let's go anywhere but here. Yeah, you're right. I think this was a bad idea. Oh, fuck. More time to kill. Get in the car. It's probably 12 miles from Hollywood Boulevard to the ocean. Santa Monica Pier. I hit the nav. It is 54 minutes to get from Hollywood Boulevard to the Santa Monica Pier. 12 miles. This was a recurring thing. If you want to get anywhere in this entire area, hour or more. If you travel 15 miles to work to and from during rush, you are looking at on an average of about 2 hours of driving a day for 30 minutes of travel. No joke. No matter where you go, it's ridiculous. In a lot of ways, and a lot of times I could run as fast. That's how ridiculous traffic is there. Oh my God. I even put down the phone when I was driving. You know, usually my best reading of Facebook and Instagram and TikTok is when I'm driving. Not in LA, though. Fuck no. Jesus. Get to Santa Monica. Not much grit, but some grit. Not like Venice. A little bit, but not bad. We go over to the pier. Walk around, people watching. That's all we're doing, looking at people. Look over down at the surf. I see a shark. I actually saw a shark in the water. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, there's a shark. Holy shit, it's awesome. Fucking so cool. Make our way back. That was kind of like what it was. Saw some family. Now, I went to the Armenian restaurant. Well, it's not Armenian, it's Persian, but pretty much what Armenians eat. In Glendale, California is, like I've indicated to you, the largest collection of Armenians in one place. So went into Rafi's place and just ate like kings. Absolutely awesome. Oh my God. Love it. But the problem was my cousin Mary, she canceled on me. I get all the way there and she had to cancel on Friday morning. I was like, or Thursday morning. I'm like, holy fuck. I came. Oh, Jesus, whatever. She, one of her employees, she has a couple of stores, packaging and shipping businesses. One of her employees at a store she has in Las Vegas, because she has one there too, had a stroke. So the poor thing had to go and like comfort and cover at the same time. So everything was fucked up. So I said, no problem. Don't even worry about it. We'll be back. I'm just going to go to Rafi's without you. Sorry you can't make it. I'll see you next time. So that cleared out our schedule. And then my brother Jim was supposed to meet us out there so we could go hang out with his daughter who lives there, Emily, and he canceled. So everybody's dropping like flies. So I'm supposed to go over to my cousin's house. I have a lot of cousins out there. I'll get to that in a second. I need to go potty. So I got to, there's no way I'm going to get what I wanted to do done today on this show. First off, for those of you getting the show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I am about to kick you out. I still have an hour and 10 minutes of show left. So do yourself a favor if you like this and get on over to Twitch. That way you can see the rest of today's show and subsequent shows in their entirety. I'm pushing my traffic over to Twitch as best that I can. So you're like, I don't know that. That's new. What's that? It's not. And it's easy. If you can go onto Facebook, you can go onto Twitch. If you're on your mobile device, just download the Twitch app, TWITCH. After you download it, search Eric Zane Live and follow. Give yourself a username so that you can participate in the chat. That's it. If you're on a computer, laptop, desktop, whatever it may be, just go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live and do all that other stuff. While you're there, in addition to follow, subscribe with your Amazon Prime account. You can't miss it. It says Twitch Prime as a red button. Hit it. It's big. And then link up your Amazon Prime account. When you link up the Amazon Prime account, you get the show without any commercial interruptions during the show. Everybody gets one to start, but you won't get any during. Otherwise, just sit through the commercials. No big deal. Twitch puts those in because that's how I basically pay for the platform. You sitting through those commercials. But if you want to skip those commercials, link it up with your Twitch Prime or link it up with Amazon Prime. It's called Twitch Prime. And you have to do that every month on your own. You got to do it. It doesn't do it automatically. If you don't have Amazon Prime, I think there's a way you can throw a few bucks at it. I think it's like $5.99 a month. But if not, fuck it. Don't worry about it. Just sit through the commercials. Either way, I'm happy. I'm just glad you're here. All right. So there's that. You can always email me, eric@ericzaneshow.com, on the Shoreliner Striping inbox when you want to talk. Send me an email and I'll chit-chat with you. The audio podcast is available for download on all podcasting platforms. Shortly after I get this done, I'll make the audio available for you. Subscribe, rate, review the podcast if your platform allows those things. All of them allow you to subscribe. Not all of them allow you to rate and review, but throw one at me, what you think of the show. I'd love to hear it. Okay, is that it? Oh, it's been a little while since I've done this. Old habits. Got to bring them back. Okay. So I'll kick you folks on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube out now. Thank you so much for being here, though, to check this out. Facebook and Twitch brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Blue Frost IT brought to you, Twitter brought to you by Blue Frost IT. And YouTube is sponsorless. Mick Dago just subscribed with Prime and says, see, subscribing with Prime is easy. I appreciate that. Chris asks me, where's the puppies? Well, I got in very late last night. The puppies are still at doggone spoiled pet sitting, dog sitting. They don't do cats. Doggone spoiled, Jenison, Michigan. You can find them on Facebook. Doggone is one word. Spoiled. That's my friend Lisa. She's been watching the dogs for years. I'll go get them after I get done podcasting today. All right. So off we go. I got to go potty. Don't go anywhere. All right. Jimmy says, still can't figure out how to subscribe on Prime. Email Kenny. Kenny will help you out. He's good at that. Telling you. He'll knock it out for you, no problem. Before I get to my next thing I want to talk about, a reminder, Patreon happens each and every day that I do a free podcast, the Patreon bonus podcast. Fans on Patreon, friends on Patreon, got an extra treat while I was away. Shh. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. The open and live stream brought to you by A&E Heating and Cooling. The immortal Joe Martinez. If you have any furnace issues, call Joe 616-516-8579. He'll get you taken care of. Whether it's scheduled maintenance, after-hour service call, maybe you need a new furnace or an air conditioner. This is who you want to get started on that process. 616-516-8579. M37 Hackers is West Michigan's newest golf simulation headquarters. If you want to go shoot a round or two, head on over to M37 Hackers in Middleville. Think of X Golf minus the huge cost and BYOB. Holy shit. The idea that, hey, let's go golf around. Let's go rent a bay for $40 and golf some of the greatest courses on the planet. In Middleville, Michigan, as we sit on a cooler of beer. Oh, my God. 269-205-2095. That's 269-205-2095. All right. A little bit more about some of the traffic in Southern California. I got honked at about 50 times because I was driving with too much distance between me and the car ahead of me. Now, I do that here, and Michigan drivers just they would just pass me and get in front of me. And they do that in L.A. too, but they honk at me. I'm doing something wrong. They're like, no. You see, what you need to do, Eric Zane, is you need to be drafting. You need to fill in that 60, 70 feet that you have in front of you. Okay? You can't. And I'm like, how stupid are you? You fucking asshole. I am going the same speed as everyone else. How can you not understand that? I was the only normal driver there. Well, what should be normal? You should never drive that close. People that drive too close, this is how people get killed. And there was a couple of moments on the roads where, like, I was listening to the traffic because they update it all the time. This radio station, this 97.1, all it is every minute, every half minute, they do a traffic report. So there's like 120 traffic reports an hour. Though it's like traffic is so big there on the radio that if a nuclear bomb blew up downtown Los Angeles, they'd say A nuclear bomb has just blown up Los Angeles. We'll get to the details after we do traffic. It's like that. That's how important traffic is there. So I'm loving this radio station because it's all news. You know, it's just like the way headline news is like 30 minutes, top of the hour, bottom of the hour, 8 million traffic reports. But traffic, there was 2 fatalities in one day. One, a pedestrian got greased, and another one, some asshole who wasn't paying attention. The traffic was stopped ahead of him, and he was right behind the car, and he smashed right into the car in front of him, and that car exploded. And so this, I don't know which of the main arteries it was closed, and no one could go anywhere. So there's like a line where the police stopped all traffic, and those people had to wait for the day. They're getting out of their cars. They're walking up the thing. People are picking Ubers, buses. It's a fucking catastrophe. At one point, we were in our room, and there was traffic on TV. Watching the Good Morning LA show or whatever the fuck it is. And the matter-of-factness in which this traffic reporter, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, traffic on so-and-so road is stop and go, and people are touching the brakes, and, ooh, you're going to want to look out for the interchange at so-and-so and so-and-so. A little bit of a slowdown there. There's a body in the road. And then over on the south side, it was that matter-of-fact. I swear to God, one moment, there was a dead guy in the road, and people going around the dead guy. And it wasn't the one where the pedestrian was hit. I guess it made it seem like this is all the time, like there's bodies everywhere. Oh, shit. So I had to travel to see my cousin on Saturday. And I'd been speaking with her. Her name is Julie. I've mentioned her before. Her husband is Bruce. Bruce is the guy whose dad used to be the general manager of the Cleveland Browns back in the day. He hired Jim Brown, his dad. And I hit it off with these folks so awesomely last time I was there, all my cousins. And so last time I was there, it was Julie and Bruce hosting. And it was my cousin Tim, my cousin Mary, my cousin Patty, and all at Julie's house. So I'm like, fuck yes, we're going to get together again and have a ball. Now, I was under the impression that they were all going to be there. Plus, another cousin, Dawn, you've never heard of, was there with her husband and her kids. So this is a reunion. In fact, my cousin Dawn, myself, and Julie have never, ever... Okay, you get a box of food showing up at your door from HelloFresh. Best day ever. You're like, oh, man, I cannot wait to open that thing up. That amazing packaging that keeps everything cold and fantastic. You pull out the meals. You're right. We're going to eat like queens and kings at this household with these meals from HelloFresh. Best day ever. Bonus. You get 65% off that box plus free shipping. Oh, my God. HelloFresh has never had a deal like this, and it's only because you are a listener of the Eric Zane Show podcast. HelloFresh.com/Zane65 and use the code Zane65. You get 65% off plus free shipping. That's incredible. HelloFresh.com/Zane65 and then use the code Zane65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Man, I'm telling you, this is life-changing. The food shows up at the door. Everything laid out perfectly. If you know how to read, then you know how to cook amazing meals for your family. Okay? Problem if you don't know how to read. Track down someone in your inner circle who knows how to read, and they will help you. That's how simple this is. HelloFresh, the absolute best fast and fresh recipes. HelloFresh's latest line of meals featuring robust flavors and filling portions are ready in less than 15 minutes. Enjoy taste and quality done quick with recipes like, get this, falafel power bowls. What? Seared steak and potatoes with béarnaise sauce. I had to practice saying that. Or Southwest pork and bean burritos. You'll find quality ingredients in HelloFresh's recipes. In fact, ingredients travel from the farm to your home in less than 7 days, so you know they're fresh. Okay? Again, go to HelloFresh.com/Zane65. Use code Zane65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Check it out. HelloFresh.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
That doesn't sound good.
Paper shredder's jammed, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, well, try shredding these $50 bills then.
Seems like it's working.
Better try another $400.
Stop. Instead of using money, use regular paper. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
Been in the same room together ever. So that was cool, you know? And then I'm expecting to see Tim, Patty, and Mary. And now Mary and Julie, I can't say they look alike, but I don't see them enough to distinguish. Now, how many times have I gone over with you about me and a person's identity and the name? Now, I've gotten names wrong before, but in this case, I actually had wrong person. I don't know why at Julie's house did I think Mary would be answering the door. Now, it turns out Mary isn't even there. She couldn't make it. I did not know that. I just assumed she would be there. Tim and Patty also could not make it. I found that out after. But by the time the door is opening, for some reason, even though it's Julie's house, I'm like, oh, it's Mary. Why would I do that? It's Diana, myself, and my niece, Emily. Emily lives there also. She's gone over to Julie's a couple of times. So Emily knows Julie. I know Julie, but I don't think this is Julie in front of me. I think it's Mary. Don't know why. I say, Emily, have you ever met Mary? And Emily looks at me like I'm a psychopath. And no one says anything. And then I say to Diana, Mary. Oh, hi. Great. And then I see Julie's husband, Bruce, but no Julie. About 5 minutes of time passed before I had the realization that Mary wasn't there, and I was introducing Julie as Mary to someone who already knows her, my niece, and Diana. Motherfuck. I could... The worst. Crawl away and die. I go, Julie, I was just referring to you as Mary. She goes, yeah, I know. I was going, Julie, didn't you hear me? I go, no, I didn't hear you. I go, oh, my God. And I tried to explain it, and she's always like, stop. Just stop. Stop it. Let it go. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. This is the same place where 2.5 years ago, when I was just getting trials done for the kidney thing, I visited, and my cousin Patty was there. And I said, Patty, this is so good to see you. I haven't seen you since I was 7 years old. She said, no, that's not true. I was in Michigan 1.5 years ago, and we had dinner. Shit. I said, no. She got her phone out and said, here we are, Eric. And I'm like, oh, my God. That moment, I thought, was rock bottom until this moment. Just explaining it to you does help me to some degree. It's therapeutic, but it makes me just even more. My brain is solidifying more and coming to grips more with the fact that I am losing my mind. What an asshole! Oh, fuck! There is no end to the ridiculousness of the shit I put myself in, the trouble I get myself in these scenarios. Chris says, LOL, you idiot. True. Chris. Corey. I called you Chris. How great is that? I just called you Chris. You're Corey. Asshole. Never going to escape that. Never, ever. He says, no, it's Corey, dumb fuck. Shut up. Hang on. I need water. By the way, getting into bed, we got in here like 12:30 or so. I probably got into bed at like 1:45. But that's like 9:45 California time. So I was very concerned that I was going to be just laying awake because we stayed up till about 11:12 every night. I'm fucked. I am fucked. That means I'll probably be up till 3 a.m. Michigan time. And then I've got a busy day today. I'm screwed. I actually was like, okay, I'll just preemptively cancel the show and then not do it. And then I said, no, fuck that shit. Just embrace it. You'll be fine. One day, you'll get back on track. But I fell asleep reasonably quick, which is remarkable. I feel pretty damn good. I feel really good, actually. The world at Michigan State University is starting to be put back together after that mass shooting. I think the most strange thing about this mass shooting, they're all ridiculous. But this is one that is kind of like whenever there's someone, like if you have a kid that is a student who is trying to get revenge or has his hit list or whatever. For example, the Oxford, Michigan one, where that kid was ostracized and bullied and he wasn't playing with a full deck. Takes it out on his classmates. This was just a kook not taking it out on classmates. He didn't even go to the school. Just some fucking psychopath who shouldn't have had guns in the first place. Another example of falling through the system. Falling through the cracks in the system. The failed system. And I don't think there's any system that can exist to keep people from getting their hands on weaponry. I don't care what laws you put on the books. That will never change. And I know this because they would put laws on the books. They would try. All we can do now, whenever there is a mass shooting, is nothing. In terms of laws, nothing can be done. Let's just say for this argument that we didn't have to have a legislative process. We could just go, these laws are all enacted. These laws are now in the books. These things massive gun control going forward. It would change nothing. So I don't know if more laws are the answer. In fact, I would say they're probably not. Maybe to some degree down the road, something can be put in place. But I'm not really buying into the idea of more gun laws on the books will change anything. I don't think it'll work. I don't think, because a gun law isn't going to keep a person who's crazy from harming people. In my opinion, the only thing that's going to keep a crazy person from harming people is a good guy with a gun. That's why I think it's very, very important that all law-abiding citizens should have one. And that's why I think that gun-free zones are a fucking joke. That's where you need the most guns. So, no, I'm not buying into the whole gun control thing. I'll tell you what. If I was in charge, I'd say this. All right. This is what we're going to do. We're going to try two things, but we can only do it one at a time. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to encourage, I am the king of USA. I am going to encourage everyone to get a gun. More guns. In fact, instead of giving you free stimulus checks, everybody gets a free gun. All right? And also, no more gun-free zones. In fact, no more need to actually get a concealed carry permit. We all get guns. So all laws are wiped out. I say so. I am the king. Everyone should carry a gun. Arm yourselves and defend yourselves from the lunatics that are trying to kill our babies. And see what happens. Crazily extreme, but just crazy enough to work. And then if that fails, then we go and we take all the guns. We get them all, because the first one's going to work, though. I can tell you this is going to work. First plan will work. There will be no more mass shootings. If the bad guys know that all the good guys are going to shoot them. I just watched on the plane back here the film Hell or High Water with Chris Pine and Jeff Bridges and some other guy who plays a lunatic. There's a scene where they try to rob this bank in, what do you call it? Some town in Texas. And they walk in there, and there's about 15 dudes in there, and they point, they get right down on the ground, and every guy there pulls out a pistol on them. Shit. I think we need more guns. So, I mean, I feel terrible that these people have to deal with this, but guns did not kill those kids. That psychopath killed those kids. Now you've got every fucking anti-gun advocate descending on Michigan State and using the backdrop of this tragedy to further their anti-gun agenda. One person in particular is David Hogue, I think his name is, who is like, oh, yeah, we got to wipe out the guns. The guns are what's killing people. It's like, you idiot. What the fuck is wrong with you? My God. Radio voice Linda says, I live in East Lansing. The MSU mass shooting was the last straw. I bought my 9mm yesterday. I will have it in a week. Tyler says we're currently in the protest for gun laws phase. Next will be the fizzle out and forget about it phase until the next mass shooting, and the process will start all over again. Yeah, if there actually was a lawmaker who felt that a gun law would do something good, they'd do it. It's not going to, first of all, it wouldn't pass, and if it did, it's not going to help. Everybody buy a gun. And then, since we have to, get your permit to conceal the fucker and take it with you. All right. That's my final thoughts on this. Speaking of guns, Alec Baldwin. Oh, my God. This is nuts. This story was kind of buried. The DA in New Mexico, I think it is, that has dropped the big charge against the guy, and it's ridiculous that it even happened in the first place. As you know, he fires a weapon. Oh, yeah, there's blanks in this. Boom, shoots the chick. She's dead. We don't know why there was live rounds on that set. That's a mystery, and I don't know if that will ever be found out. I'm sure some conspiracy theorists are saying that the real bullets were planted in there to fuck up Alec Baldwin because he's such a lefty. That's a great conspiracy theory, by the way. The armorer, I forget her name, charged with the same thing that Baldwin's charged with. He's looking at decades in prison until Monday. The Santa Fe District Attorney's Office dropped the most serious of the charges. It's known as the gun enhancement charge, which I don't even know what the fuck that is. It's just a crime that would have carried a 5-year sentence if convicted against Baldwin in the fatal shooting of Helena Hutchins. What the gun enhancement charge was, you see, this happened in October of 2021 when the whole incident went down. And then in May of 2022, a new law went on the books, which allowed the prosecutor said, oh, yeah, now we can charge him with this gun enhancement charge. And it's like the defense said, well, no, you can't, because that law did not exist. That law did not exist when this incident occurred. You can't go back in time retroactively and charge someone. And all right, so that's what was being contested. By the way, her name is Hannah Gutierrez Reed. So the defense made a great point. It said, well, and petitioned the court. It said, yeah, we can't even have this charge against him because that law did not exist. The DA had the nerve to say, in order to avoid further litigious distractions by Mr. Baldwin and his attorneys, the DA and the special prosecutor have removed the firearm enhancement to the involuntary manslaughter charge in the death of Helena Hutchins on the Rust film set. Santa Fe DA Attorney Mary Carmack Altwies said in a statement, the prosecution's priority is securing justice, not securing billable hours for big city attorneys. Well, that sounds like a deflection. It sounds to me like you didn't know what the fuck the law was, and then you're trying to deflect it back that they did something wrong. His attorneys. So you're not charging him to avoid. You're not charging him to avoid Baldwin's attorneys doing their jobs? Is that what you're saying? Doesn't make any sense. The decision to drop the charge was a win for Baldwin, who makes his first court appearance coming up on Friday. Baldwin's legal team filed a motion in February 10th, arguing that the 5-year gun enhancement did not apply because it didn't happen. The law did not exist. Didn't take effect till May of 22. I cannot believe the prosecution was like, yeah, let's get him on a law that doesn't exist. Very strange. At the most, Baldwin can get 18 months. They're saying that Baldwin pulled the trigger of this. He said he did not. And I think that's one of the big points of contention on that. So, I don't know. I think the biggest point of contention is the fact that it was a live round in there. And I don't think there's any way he could have known that there was a live round in there. And I think that they'll prove that. I don't think anybody serves any time. It seems flimsy to me. All right. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage invites you to reach out to them if you need anything concerning a mortgage. 231-332-6505. No matter where you are in the U.S., with the exception of Alaska, Hawaii, Maine, South Carolina, NMLS number 3035. Whether it's your first mortgage, your 10th mortgage, refi rates are starting to fall, and that is good news for the buyer. Get pre-approved for your mortgage today from the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Thank you to the Kent County Health Department. Their website is accesskent.com/health. Reach out to them concerning any information on the WIC program. If you or anyone you know or love is having a hard time keeping food on the table, please reach out to the Kent County Health Department or your respective county, accesskent.com/health for all the help you'll need. Hang on. My throat is starting. I'm starting to get weary. That happens. By the way, everybody at every restaurant brings their dog to the restaurant. Every restaurant is in California is also a kennel. I'm sitting with Diana and an old friend of hers and her old friend's husband and a friend of theirs. And the guy has this dog. Great dog, Darla. And everybody else, every table has a dog there. Everywhere you go, it's like there's more dogs than people, it seems. And the signs say, no pets, service dogs only. And so you go walking up, and there's a host or a maitre d', and they say, yeah, what is that? Oh, that's my service dog. Oh, okay, come on in. I'm not complaining. I love dogs. Speaking of dogs, I was at Jeffrey's house visiting him. And he's got this dog, Oakley. And he has another dog named Bodie. Oakley's a puppy. It's one of those like white labs. White lab retriever or something like that. What are those called again? Just beautiful. Love those dogs. That is a English cream golden retriever. And we're in Jeffrey's backyard, and you know Jeffrey's unique because his ideas and thoughts fly out randomly. Okay? Him and I speak the same ADHD language, but his energy makes me look like Eeyore. So, you know, you got to kind of prepare yourself for the conversation because it comes at you hard and fast. But that's cool with me. I mean, that's him. So we're hugging and we're talking about, you know, how good life is. And we're in the middle of his backyard and he can't see the dogs. And Bodie, little Bodie, takes a dump. And then right away, I see Oakley go up to the dump, and I was like, uh-oh. And he dives for the shit. He's going to eat the shit. And I go, Jeff, Oakley is eating shit. Oh, man. Oh, no, this is not good. Oh, man, no. And I'm like, you know, dude, there's nothing you can do about it. You're better off at this point when the dog eats shit to just not pet the dog for about 4 hours. So that happened. O'Neill, my God, he is a connoisseur of shit. He runs and gets a tube of dog toothpaste and a dog toothbrush. And I'm like, yeah, this is even worse. Because now you're just kind of, you know, it's kind of like when you eat a couple of Oreos and then you immediately brush your teeth after. There's Oreo on the brush and you're just kind of like grinding Oreo into your tooth and gums, you know, and into your enamel and your gum line. And it's just, and then you spit and it looks like an Oreo. That's what's happened. So he's basically brushing the teeth with some toothpaste, dog toothpaste, and shit. He's grinding shit into the dog's teeth. I don't know if it's going to help you, man. And then his wife comes in. Oh, yeah, man, Eric let the dog eat shit. I go, I did not let the dog eat shit. The fuck? You're in the middle of talking to me about whatever is going through your brain, and your dog starts eating shit. I said when I thought the dog was eating shit. I told you the dog was eating shit. If I hadn't told you, you wouldn't know the dog ate the shit. Anyway, back to when I was at the restaurant with dude with the dog. Now, about 1% of you will get some of this. We'll get who these people are that I'm talking. If you're familiar with, if you're old as me or older than me, you will know what I'm talking about here. But in Detroit, back in the day, there was a lot of punk bands, punk garage bands. Think like the MC5, Amboy Dukes. And they come up because there's another band called the Mutants, and out of Hamtramck. And my stepsister, Sue, stepsister/sister, she used to be married to Tom, who I affectionately on this show call Tom the Racist. Tom the Racist was the biggest fucking fan of the Mutants ever. I had Tom the Racist on this show once, and then he's sounded like such a racist. He's banned from the show. He can't even come on the show here. He almost got me banned from Patreon. So Tom the Racist was the biggest fan of the Mutants ever. Diana's pal, who she went to high school with, married the lead singer of the Mutants. His name is Art Lysak. She goes, we're going to go out to eat with Christina and Art. And Lysak is a Novak friend of Novak. Novak was great friends with Christine and Art, so we're connected that way. And then Christine says, we're going to be joined by one other person. Oh, yeah, who's that? His name is Sam. He used to own the Magic Bag in Detroit, and he used to own Sam's Jams in fashionable Ferndale. Like, are you fucking shitting me? If you've lived in Detroit, which I did, it's like these are legends. I could not believe who I was having a meal with. So there I am, this guy. The Magic Bag, in fact, was the venue that Carl and I did that show when Carl invited me for Who Are These Podcasts. It was at the Magic Bag. So the guy who used to own the place is sitting there with me, and he sold it in like the mid to late 90s. He sold the record store, Sam's Jams, and he sold the theater and then moved to California. Now he owns a rock and roll art exhibit, art gallery. He owns an art gallery, and next door to it, he has a framing business where he builds frames for the art. In fact, he's having a art exhibition with, what the fuck is his name from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers? Mike Campbell, the guitar player from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, is going to be there at his venue. This is great. So I got me, lead singer of the Mutants, which you've never heard of. In fact, the Mutants have one of their claims to fame is and very, very big in Detroit, and that's about it. But very big at the time. There's an old venue called the Grandy Ballroom, where the Who played, Led Zeppelin played, some of the big Janis Joplin, some of the biggest names in music, late 60s, early 70s, would play the Grandy Ballroom. The structure still exists to this day, but it's completely in ruins. And people are always kind of like, we should renovate the Grandy Ballroom. Then it always falls apart. I might even have talked about that a time or two on this show. It's in Detroit. Well, before the ballroom closed, they had one of the final shows was Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes, the MC5, and the Mutants. And this dude, that he's, like I said, lead singer of the band, so he performed with these guys one of the very last shows at the Grandy Ballroom. So that's pretty damn cool if you grew up in Detroit. for me at least. And in fact, Art has a song. Well, he didn't write it, but he performed it, and it's called "Piece of Shit." And I said to Diana, I go, "You are in the presence of the lead singer of the band that sang Piece of Shit." No, I go, "You're with Art. He wrote Piece of Shit." And he goes, "No, I didn't write it. I just sang it." And Art, this song is sung from the perspective of the shit, like leaving the asshole. Audio check, video check. Here's the Mutants, Piece of Shit. This is probably 1972.
Well, I am somebody's bunghole, and I'm no big deal. I can play a mean guitar, boy, or I can strut and squeal. Well, I make $1,000 a year, and I spend it on cocaine. I'm just a little rock and roller with a little fella's brain. Rock and rolling vegetables, baby, that's what I am. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. When you're sitting in your bathroom, come on and set me free. Push hard and let me plop out some shit like me. And I don't think you will not see me again, 'cause you flushed me down the pipe. I'm headlining at the weekend concert, so don't be afraid to wipe. Rock and rollin', little bumhole, baby, that's what I am. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
All right. I'll link it up. The Mutants, Piece of Shit for you, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm there. I sit down. There's Art. Really sweet, soft-spoken, friendly, nice. Christine, Art's wife, hitting it off with Diana. They grew up together. I got their story. They were cool. Sam's got his dog. And then I start talking to him. They're asking me questions about kidney shit and stuff like that. And then it happened. Now, I've talked to you before, and people have said to me, by the way, Chris says, new song for the Insane Asylum. No, you're right. I should do a whole segment on the Mutants. That's a good idea. I appreciate that. Got to write that one down. So it's one thing where I've debated this and said I'm going to do it, and then for no good reason decided not to do it. No good reason decided not to do it. And I've been encouraged to do it by many, many people. And it's one thing for people that know me to tell me to do this. But for someone that doesn't know me, and I've been speaking to for 20 minutes, I hear this. You should write a book. I'd read it. I'm like, God damn it. Art, the lead singer of the Mutants, says to me, and he's quiet. He says a lot of funny jokes, but he says them soft-spokenly. He goes, Eric, you should write a book. I'd read it. And I go, well, I started to. He goes, why didn't you finish it? Got busy. Only get one chance. Gotta do it. You should write a book. Now, you know me. A million times I've said I'm going to do something, and then I don't. But he did kind of stoke some fire. You know, why the fuck? I should write a fucking book. So I had to go move the car because I was going to get a ticket. So I go move the car, and I sent an email to the lady I was working with about writing the book the first time. I go, hey, I think I'm back in business. She's like, oh, yeah? I said, yeah. I think I want to do this now. She said, all right. I'll contact you next week. So I don't know. I want to talk to her because I don't know if I can do a whole book on just kidney donation. I want to do a book about a lot of shit. I think in the moment when the kidney donation happened. I mean, that's great. I think that can be part of the book. Rob says, running for school board. Now, wait a minute. I never committed. Wait, maybe I did commit. You know what's not going to help me in getting this done, you cock, is you and people like you pointing out all of my failures. Do I do that to you? Chris says, no, you got to do life stories. So many stories from your youth. Tyler joins the asshole brigade with, you could write a book of broken promises, LOL. Come on, guys. I was excited about this. Chris offered me some support. I would love it if I said it, and then you guys went, yeah, it's about time you brought that idea up. I've been waiting for you to get back into it. You must include the story of the hamster in the book. Well, yeah. Chris says Adam Carolla wrote 3 or 4 books. If he can come up with stories, so can you. Oh, I know. I'm a million times more talented than that guy. He's a fucking idiot. Are you kidding me? Adam says right about radio, kidney donation, being a dad in your early 40s. Oh, yeah. This book could be like 8 million, being a grandpa in my early 40s. This book could be 1 million pages long. Yeah, I think I need to do this. I need to do this. All right. It was great seeing those folks, meeting them, getting to know them. We're now friends for life. Blue State Rob says, as long as you call Greg Smug Beer in it, you're fine. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll need a chapter on pedos and another chapter on wife beaters that you've crossed paths with. Yeah, I'd have to talk with legal about that. You know, because, I don't know. I just want to be a little bit careful about that. Honestly, I could write a whole book without mentioning any of those losers. I don't need any of my time with any of those pieces of shit to make this an enjoyable book. You know, frankly, there weren't a lot of great times that I had with those people. And the great times that I did have with them are clouded by my inextinguishable rage and me wanting to fucking drive over them if they're walking down the side of the road. So, yeah, that still burns very hot. Fuck them. All right. I don't know if you were following the NBA over the past several days, but they had their big all-star weekend. God, some dude won the dunk contest who doesn't even play in the league. Mac McClung. Mac McClung was invited to the NBA slam dunk competition. Here's what's interesting about Mac McClung. And I just wish the news people would come out and say it. He's a fucking Jimmy Chitwood white guy. Imagine if one of the cast from the film Hoosiers walked onto the NBA dunk competition and beat the shit out of everybody. And doesn't even play in the NBA. He plays in the G League. But they had just given him like a 2-way contract to play for the 76ers or something like that. And I guess they knew he was pretty good at dunking, so they gave him the opportunity. Wait till you see this guy jump out of the gym. Hold on a second here. Watch every Mac McClung dunk. All right. Where the hell is it? I think this is it. Anyway, he won the damn thing.
Where you steal the show? Nobody knows your name. Make them remember your name. And don't miss a dunk. All right, good luck, brother.
I do this. Anyway, the guy was incredible.
I don't know these guys either. I don't know who these two guys are. Who are these two guys?
I think I got it. Bear with me. I wasn't planning on doing this, so all of a sudden then I decided to do it. So audio check, video check, microphone check. This is the one where he's going to watch this. The guy's going to get on the other guy's shoulders.
Coming out here.
Yeah, McClung is the first G League player ever to participate in the slam dunk competition.
No. So you have a man with another man on his shoulders. They're the props. The guy on top of the man's shoulder thing is holding the basketball.
He was signed this week by the 76ers to a 2-way contract.
Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. I'm worried about the guy holding the other guy. Some point he gonna go down. Oh, that's a 50. That's a 50. I gotta see if he hit the backboard. That's a 50.
He smiles.
Everyone standing, including us. What's up, Kitty? And a reverse.
Hey, yo, look at this dude.
And a reverse. I have one thing to say. Welcome to the NBA. Welcome to the NBA. Did you see Jonathan Majors? Right? Oh, my God. His excitement? Yeah. This is amazing.
See, every one of these black guys who are the judges, they want to say, and he's white, but they won't do it. But they need to. They need to. We need to acknowledge white power.
A movie star reacting like that.
Alvarado. Here comes McClung.
Oh! Yes. Hezzy. Gosh. That's a Hezzy. That's called a Hezzy dunk. So you Hezzy in the air. Yeah, that's a ooh. And that might be an ah, too. I think that's a 49 and a half. That's like one shade under 50. That's one.
All these dudes with their mouths open looking at him.
Oh, look at Giannis. The players love it. Wait, he's got a
Again, after every dunk, they should make it a point to say, this is a white man.
Here, guys. He's got a prop here. High school jersey. Yeah. High school jersey.
This is the high school that he played for. That he broke the Iverson and the J.J. Redick records in the state of Virginia. Here he goes.
And
he's a little buddy, too. What?
That's a wrap. It is over, ladies and gentlemen. It is a wrap. It is a wrap. Face. He know it. CJ going to shake him up. Good job, man. It's over. Oh, my goodness. It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, we have witnessed a star being born tonight. Stop it. A star has been born tonight. A star? A star. Like an NBA star? An NBA star has been born tonight. His name will be rung throughout the country for 48 hours.
For 40 hours. All right. So that was awesome. I loved that. I don't give a shit about the league. Nothing. Kuiper says his high school mixtapes are sick. Yeah, I saw that there was one there. But yeah, that can you imagine having that ability at that age? That is incredible. Blue State Rob says he's got to be biracial to jump like that. I don't know. And Rob also says he looks me-marted. I don't know why you think the way you think. Not at all. He looks just like a normal dude. He doesn't look like a guy who could win the NBA dunk championship. This guy's not even an NBA player. He might be now. I can just imagine his social media exploded. Side note to the dunk contest. One of the judges was Karl Malone, the mailman, Utah Jazz, one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. It was revealed because the story came around, a story that I have never, ever heard. I don't know how I never heard it. Had this happened maybe a little later in the timeline, we would have heard about it. But are you aware that Karl Malone raped a child, and the child had his baby, and the child went on to play in the NFL? When Karl Malone was 20 in college, he raped a 13-year-old girl. She just like 8th grade, and got her pregnant. Statutory rape, if you want to be completely technical on the deal. Why haven't I heard of this fucking story? When Karl Malone was 20, he impregnated a 13-year-old girl. Why haven't I heard the story? And why is he judging the NBA All-Star Game slam dunk contest? Why did he have a career? Why is he in the Hall of Fame? What the fuck? When Malone was 20, he impregnated a 13-year-old girl who then gave birth to a boy. The girl's parents did not want to publicize the baby's birth because they were afraid of jeopardizing Karl's future prospect. What? Karl went on to deny the child anyway. Even once the paternity of the child was proven unequivocally, he refused to provide financial support, arguing that $125 a week was too much in child support. This was despite earning $3 million in the NBA at the time. Karl and his son finally met when the dude was 17 years old. And upon meeting the young man, Karl said, "It's too late for me to be your father to you. You'll have to make your own way." His son, Demetrius Bell, went on to play 5 years in the NFL. This is fucking nuts. Bomani Jones, sports writer. I like him. He spoke to this during all of this. Audio check, video check, microphone check.
What are your thoughts on Karl Malone being a huge part of All-Star Weekend? You could basically make this question, what are your thoughts about Karl Malone, and stop it right there. Like, it doesn't have to be an occasion, because I hated Karl Malone so much before I had a great reason. I only had good ones. Like, just being a dirty player, elbowing people all the time, that sort of stuff. And then, we found out the whole thing, if you don't know this, that when he was in college, Karl Malone had a baby with a 12-year-old.
All right, I got it wrong. 12!
There's never been any sort of reckoning for Malone because Malone lays low. Like, he just out there in the country, driving his semi, doing whatever it is that Karl Malone does out there. But if you're doing something for Utah basketball, it's like Karl Malone. So we got Karl Malone and John Stockton. John Stockton is crazy conspiracy guy. And I'm just kind of like, I know a lot of people that think crazy things, as long as you don't say it on the microphone there, I guess, right? But Karl Malone, you're kind of supposed to leave him at home, except if you're the league. I heard a lot of y'all when I told y'all those details that you'd never heard them before, right? And so why is Karl Malone not there? Then you make this more a story. And so I would imagine that there's a very cynical outlook on how to play it. So I never want to see Karl Malone ever, all time, any other point. But he's going to be there, and it's going to be wild uncomfortable for a lot of people. And then tomorrow we're going to forget it ever happened.
Wow. Motherfuck. He had sex with a little girl and got her pregnant. And they go, come on back. Judge the dunk competition. Holy shit. A couple of the sites I saw were making a big deal about it. How was Karl Malone's statutory rape trial solved? Was he convicted or acquitted? A little more on this. Just gives a little of the background of him and the girl. And it says, despite the nature of the sexual misconduct allegations, with a minor, he was never charged with rape. The girl's family simply wanted the Utah Jazz legend to acknowledge his son and pay for child support. And I don't think he ever did that. Malone eventually approached the son in 2014. They eventually became very close, believe it or not, and reportedly started talking almost every day. Boy, that's some serious shit if you're the NBA. How do you walk into that? So you had Lisa Leslie, Dominique Wilkins, Jamal Crawford, Harold Miner, and Malone for this event that happened Saturday. That's just fucking ridiculous. My God, how does that even happen? Okay. Hello to my friends at Jennison Pool and Spa Depot, 616-457-0500. If you've always wanted a pool in your backyard, this is the first step. If you call anyone else who has this type of business right now, they're delayed by years because there's a backlog of people wanting to get pools installed. As you can guess, you need a crew. Well, my pal Jeremy out the door from Jennison Pool and Spa Depot, he has been installing pools for 25 years, in-ground vinyl liner or fiberglass pools in-ground. But he just added 2 crews, so now there's 3 crews working. Each of those is going to install 8 pools this summer. Be one of them. One of the 16. 616-457-0500. Everything you've ever wanted to know about pool installation in your backyard to make your backyard the center of the attention in the neighborhood. Everybody's coming over and hanging out on the deck of your pool deck there with your frickin' tiki bar and your fire pit and all that shit. It's going to be awesome. 616-457-0500. Use that space in your backyard to put a pool in. First step is getting your in-store consultation at Jennison Pool and Spa Depot, 616-457-0500. Call today. They also have a ton of hot tubs there, all the chemicals you ever need, and they service pools and hot tubs. Jennison Pool and Spa Depot, 616-457-0500. Blue Frost IT, I love you. 616-200-8550, the managed IT service provider for this show. If you have a small or medium-sized business and you're going to upgrade your tech because it's time, don't just go to Best Buy and start buying stuff off the shelf. Excuse me. Reach out to Blue Frost IT. Sit down for a 30-minute complimentary consultation about what you need. Alan from Blue Frost IT will point you in the right direction, get you all squared away and set up so you don't have to do it. Time is money. Don't let your tech woes get in the way of your business. Call Blue Frost IT today, 616-200-8550. We got a car dealership on the show. It is Serra Honda Granville, SERRA, HondaGranville.com. On Kennewa, just north of 44th in beautiful Granville, Michigan. Stop in, test drive a brand new Honda today. Michigan's #1 Honda volume dealer. In addition, they have Michigan's largest selection of certified pre-owned cars on the lot. SERRA, Sarah, HondaGranville.com. All right. Last but not least, the Gins. Tag Accounting. Tax season is here, and all the way to the end, you'll have an opportunity to get your taxes done with the hardest working, most determined, mighty accountant in all the land, Troy Ginzer. Tag Accounting, 616-301-9516. Call, mention my name, get started with my friends at Tag Accounting, and you'll be off and running. Get somebody to do your taxes and have that somebody be Troy Ginzer. Don't do it yourself. Don't have H&R Block do it. Don't have fucking Liberty Tax do it. Don't do it with TurboTax. Have the Gins do it. Thank you, Troy. 616-301-9516. When we last left you, your asshole of the day was Ray Caruth. I forget why. This asshole of the day today, who is it going to be? Boy, what did we talk about today? Talked about, of course, my trip. It's got to be this guy. By the way, I get a vote. I get a nomination because of the incident with my cousin. God. She's always like, let it go, Eric. I can't. Thank you to TC Paintball for giving us the asshole of the day. It is Karl Malone. Karl Malone is your asshole of the day. I was not aware of that guy being the scumbag that he is. Holy shit. That is ugly. Join me on Patreon. I'm running behind. I'm not going to be able to get to Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia this week. I'll make it up next week with Tio joining me. But, yes, so off and running on this Tuesday. Patreon coming up in a bit. I would love you to be part of it. Listener-supported, ad-free Patreon. So thank you so much for subscribing on Patreon. You help keep the show going. Okay. By the way, on the way back from our trip yesterday, I started to watch a film called Thor, Love and Thunder. What an absolute pile of shit. Oh, my God. Absolutely awful. I cannot believe that was even made. Special hello to Miss Nikki in Maine, who indicates that her goat Jasper had a birthday. And 3,000 people said happy birthday to Jasper. Is that because, does he have like an online presence? Is that what it is? Tyler says, I don't understand why people hate that movie so much. Well, it was a comedy. It was a corny ass comedy. It was stupid. That's why people didn't like it, because it sucked dick. Oh, God, stupid. Yeah, I don't watch Marvel movies for fucking slapstick Laurel and Hardy comedy. Shut the fuck up. All right. Thank you, folks. I appreciate you so much. Corey says Ragnarok had the perfect balance. Yeah, Ragnarok was pretty serious at times. Jesus. There was nothing scary or sinister about the bad guy, and fucking it was stupid. It was too much comedy. All right, folks. Have a figure out. I'll talk to you on the Patreon a little bit later on. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.
Did you know that yearly Medicaid renewals will start again soon? This means millions of people who were enrolled in Medicaid during the pandemic may no longer be eligible for coverage. If this may impact you, the good news is you have options. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield can help answer your questions so you can find an affordable health plan for you and your family. We want you to feel confident you're covered. Click to learn more. Policy exclusions and limitations apply. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc.